Hello Infiniteers! Today I'm going to continue building the Savanna Central area and the downtown area of my Zootopia toy box. Once again, for reference, here's a screenshot of this location from the movie. So far, we have built the hotel and the trolley station on the left and the police department on the right. Now, notice all of the different buildings in the background. Each building has a unique look and a unique shape, and unfortunately, none of these structures match any of the building pieces we have in the toy box. So trying to duplicate the look of this city in Disney Infinity was going to be a challenge. However, one of the promotional screenshots that Disney created when they added Nick and Judy to Disney Infinity 3.0 was this one, and I thought this might work well for the downtown area. They used some smaller buildings along this street, like the Dusk to Dawn store and the Main Street USA buildings, and they used some larger buildings from Monsters University, The Incredibles, and Tomorrowland in the background. And I really liked the way this looked, so I chose to recreate this as closely as I could. Now my final version's a little more compact than this in order to save memory and space in my toy box. But this is definitely more doable with the building pieces that we have, and so this is what I chose to build. And so as we get started today, we're going to begin building in that direction, and let's start by putting the road in. And we're going to put 2 of these in here, and don't worry, we're going to be building over the edge of the terrain today. If that bothers you, you can put down a little bit of terrain over there temporarily. Whoops, didn't mean to put that piece down. Let's see, we'll go ahead and pick up the intersection back here. We're going to put down another intersection over here. And then for right now, we'll put this piece in. And we'll put those in, followed by a couple of very short pieces. And another intersection. And we're just laying out the roads for the downtown area here. And this part of the toy box over here will actually be for Savannah, or for Sahara Square, which we're going to build next time. But for right now, we'll put this in, and then it'll be here and it'll be done. And that way we make sure all of the roads line up where I need them to. There we go. Alright, so this is the area that we're going to build and focus on today. So, we're going to need a few helper blocks. We'll come down, let's use the basic blocks. This is pretty straightforward. And let me pull up my screen grab here. Okay. So we're going to place a couple of these out here. And let's see. I need to move this over, and then we'll slide this up. So that's what we want there. Okay. And then on this side, we're going to move this over a little bit, and I'm going to grab 2 of those. And I'm just spacing out room for the sidewalk here. Okay, let's go up to the buildings category. Oops, went past it. We'll go left, and we're going to pick up this building right here, the office tower. This is going to sit right there like that. Okay? And then we'll go to set pieces, and we're going to go to the right. And the Zootopia buildings aren't perfectly square like that. And I thought maybe we could use the Oscorp building here as kind of a building to put in place. And I need to move this little block down here just because the bounding box is getting in our way. There we go. So that's lined up pretty close, and you can actually push this up against the building and not have a problem. But that gives you the spacing that we need for the sidewalks around it. And I think that just looks kind of like a futuristic building that you see in Zootopia. All right, we can take these helper blocks out. And let's come over here. And we're going to place another one down right on the corner of this building, like you see there. And then we'll go back up to the buildings category. Oops. And we're going to use this one. We're going to place this here on the corner. Come over one nudge. And like that. Okay? So the positioning of this is sticking out about a half a block past the front edge of this helper block. And it's about a half a block away from that block. And then we'll use this for our spacer down here. And this time we'll go up to the set pieces. And we're going to use the Nicelanders apartment complex. This is going to sit right like this, one nudge away from the corner of that block. And again, it's hanging off the edge of the terrain. Don't worry about that. But that's the spacing for it. All right, so we're framing in this side of the street. Now on this side, let me grab a plant cluster here. We're going to use this piece as a spacer. And then I'm going to come back over here and pick this building piece up and put it down. This is going to be our hospital. And this is going to sit right on the edge of the terrain, just like you see there. And a couple of spacer blocks, because we got a little bit of an alleyway we're going to put in here. We'll come pick this building up and put it back. We're going to put this one down here, right on side of those like that. And then we'll do a red brick building next to that. And then a couple of more spacer blocks. Back to the buildings drawer. And we're going to use this piece right here like that. And if you've spaced all that properly, this middle door should be centered right on the terrain seam there. Right, then we can take all of these little spacers out. Right, there's our first street for the downtown area. And those are the big buildings that were behind the other street over here. And now let's put in some of the smaller buildings. And we'll grab our little spacer blocks here again. Place that there. There's a terrain seam in the road that goes right there. So make sure you take notice of that. And then on the other side of the road, We're going to put down a few helper blocks over here just to help us space everything out the way we want. Okay, and then we're going to go to Building Sets Group 3, which is the Main Street USA buildings. And the first one we're going to grab is this red brick storefront. This is going to sit in here just like this, right up against the end of that block. We'll put this one right next to it. And then we're going to use this one. We're going to spin it around and go right across the street. And I think we're right over there, but we're going to place that there for right now. Hey, I got it right. Okay, so this is going to sit right in here. We'll put this one here, a narrower one there, and then this one right here. And then on this side of the street, we'll put that piece in there. This narrow one, another little kind of a sidewalk cafe looking piece. And that one. And on the opposite side, we'll place this little shorty, and this long piece here. Alright, and then I want to put the Dusk to Dawn store here. And if you don't have the Toy Box Speedway playset, or the Toy Box Speedway expansion game, which you need to unlock that, you can just run some of these buildings on down. Make sure you leave a gap here, a 1-block gap here for the alleyway. Okay, and we can drop that in here. Now the Dusk to Dawn building, once you unlock that, is up under Building Sets Group 7. And this will sit in here just like this. And then we can take these spacer blocks out. And there we go. That's looking pretty good. All right, and then in here, we're going to place one of the Monsters University buildings. And you find that under the buildings category. If we go to the right, it's the MU dorm. This is what we're going to use. And depending on which version of the toy box that you're going to build, whether it's the version that I showed in the playthrough video or the one that has all 4 districts, you're either going to place this right here as close as you can get it to the left next to the Oscorp building, or if you want to do all 4 districts, this is actually going to go 2 nudges to the right, and you would want to place that there. And the difference is, if you go down to the blocks drawer, where I've positioned it here for the version on my Wii U that I had to build, it's 2 versions or 2 blocks from the end of that. If you're going to build the version that has all 4 districts with the Rainforest District, then you're going to use this block, and the edge of this structure will line up with the edge of this block over here. Okay? All right. And there we go. There are all the buildings in for this part of town, the downtown area. Now, at this point, I'm going to go offline, and I'm going to add in the details with the traffic lights and some plants and some other things. And when I'm all done, I'll come back and show you what I've got, and then we'll wrap this video up for today. Okay, I am back, and I have placed all of the remaining decorations and things. And so let me show you what I've got here. We'll start over on this side, I suppose. So I've placed a couple of plants. These are the first 9 plants out of the plants drawer. Again, feel free to pause the video along the way so that you can see what I've got and what I've done. And I've also placed the hot dog stand. This is out of Building Sets Group 2. And that sits in there like that. If you don't get the exact placement of these, that's okay, as long as you're in the ballpark. And then we're going to style these using the Zootopia terrain. And that gives us these little umbrella tables here with the lounge chairs and everything, and I think that looks really good. If you do not have the Zootopia power discs, then your alternative is to use the red striped umbrella tables out of Building Sets Group 3. You can use those instead. Okay, we have our street light that I've placed here off the corner of this building, and notice the bounding box. I've set it back from the road just a little bit so that there's a little bit of forgiveness as you're driving. This plant back here we're going to style with the Zootopia theme. Whoops, nope, that one. And if you don't have that, you could use the Pirates strip or the Jungle strip from Jungle Book. Either of those, that'll give you some palm trees to fit in there. For the hospital, I didn't do this ahead of time because I wanted to show you how to do this, but you'll go to the basic blocks drawer and go to the block wall. Put this right up against here like that, just like you see there. And you'll want to style this. If you go over to the right, we're looking for the red gloss. Red gloss. I'll set that to be my theme. And then we'll put down a couple of short block walls on either side of that. And there is your hospital. Okay. And we have our street lights here. These are out of the decorations drawer. The street light over there is right near it. And the parking meter is out of Building Sets Group 2. And I've got one on either side of the road here. So you can kind of see how those are positioned and how the street lights are positioned. I added this storefront to the red brick building. This is out of the buildings category. And I added a couple of these fronts to the building next to it. That's again out of the buildings category. And that's everything I did on that street. And then here we have more street lights. You can see the spacing of those. Kind of take note of the terrain seams and things. More street lights on every corner here. Street lights here. Traffic lights here. And see where the street lights are there. And over here. And over here. And then I also added one here near this road seam. And notice how the trees are positioned here. And this is equally spaced and positioned across from there. The left edge of this is kind of centered on the tower, and same with the right edge of this tree. It's kind of centered on the tower. And you can note the orientation of those as well. These are going to be styled using the Zootopia theme. Zootopia terrain. And if you don't have that, you could use the Pirates terrain if you don't have the Zootopia power discs. And the same with these. You can style those with the Pirates theme as well if you don't have that. These back here, you can see how these are positioned and orientated. These I'm going to style using the Pride Lands. And that just gives us kind of a background behind the police station. And they're a little bit tall, so you'll see them from out front. It just adds a little bit of a border back there behind it. And if you don't have the Pride Lands power disc that gives you these, you could use the Sleeping Beauty trees, or you could use the Pirate trees or the Zootopia trees. Put those back here. Any of those will do. Probably the Pirate and Zootopia trees are your best choice. Alright, in the park, this is going to differ depending on whether you've built it like I did or whether you put the water textures in here like I showed you last time, the water terrain blocks. Since I don't have the water terrain blocks, I positioned my trees like this. And you'll want to position yours around the water. And you don't need many trees, just a few. But all of these we're going to use the Pride Lands theme. And I like that because it gives you a boulder. Okay, and if you don't have Pride Lands, you can use the Zootopia one. That'll work nicely. Or you can use anything else that looks like a rock. Maybe the Tatooine one. That could work. Or maybe the Jungle Corner ruins. Something like that. And for these trees, we're going to use the Pride Lands again. And again, if you don't have that, use the Zootopia or the Pirate trees. This is Savanna Central, so I wanted to use the African textures here a little bit. There you go. There's our little park. And again, use those same textures if you have the water in here. Your trees will just be positioned around the water. All right, over here we kind of have this little park area with an obelisk. And these plants here, we're going to style these using the Zootopia theme. If you don't have that, use the Pirates theme. Or the Alice in Wonderland theme, or whatever you like. And I'm not going to style this obelisk yet. We'll do that later. Okay, and I think that is about everything. Oh, and I've also placed this up here. This is out of Building Sets Group 2. And now that I've styled this tree, I've messed that up, so let me put this back. And we'll just throw that over there for right now, so that I can put our sushi cat back. I had to pick that up to show you where that is. Right, and we'll put this back to be the Pride Land thicket. Alright, and there is Savanna Central and the downtown area in my Zootopia toy box. And I think that's enough for today. Next time I'll show you how to build my recreation of Sahara Square, the second district in my Zootopia toy box. Until then, I want to thank you for watching, and I hope you enjoyed my video today. If so, please give it a like and subscribe for more Disney Infinity content like this. Also, leave a comment and let me know what you think of my builds so far for downtown Zootopia. I always love hearing from my viewers. That's all for me today. See you next time.